I am Haakon VII, born Prince Carl of Denmark, but history would write my name as the first king of an independent Norway in modern times. My story begins in 1905, a pivotal year for both Norway and me. At the time, Norway had peacefully dissolved its union with Sweden, seeking a monarch to lead its newfound sovereignty. To my surprise, they turned to me, a Danish prince. It was not an easy decision to accept this throne. I was not merely choosing a crown, but embracing the weighty task of fostering unity and stability in a country yearning for self-determination. Arriving in Norway, accompanied by my wife, Maud, and our young son, Alexander, later Crown Prince Olav, I felt the enormity of my responsibility. Yet, I pledged to serve not as an authoritarian ruler but as a constitutional monarch, bound to the will of the Norwegian people. My first declaration as king was simple but profound: I will strive to be a true and faithful servant of Norway. The early years of my reign were spent building a relationship with my people. Norway, a land of fjords, mountains, and proud traditions, welcomed me warmly. I immersed myself in understanding its culture and history, ensuring that my family and I became truly Norwegian in heart and soul. I encouraged the arts, education, and the strengthening of democratic institutions, striving to become a unifying figure in a diverse society. The defining chapter of my life came in 1940 when the storm of World War II swept across Europe. Norway, neutral but strategically important, found itself invaded by Nazi Germany. I vividly remember that dark April when I was forced to make a fateful choice. The Germans demanded that I appoint a puppet government under Vidkun Quisling, a man whose name would become synonymous with betrayal. I refused. I could not and would not betray my people's trust or surrender their freedom. Along with my government, I fled into the Norwegian wilderness, resisting from the mountains before escaping to Britain. From exile in London, I became the voice of free Norway. Through radio broadcasts, I assured my people that their king stood with them, urging resilience in the face of occupation. Norwegian resistance fighters drew inspiration from my defiance, and the bonds between Norway and its allies deepened. When liberation came in 1945, I returned to Norway, greeted by jubilant crowds. It was one of the most profound moments of my life. I was not merely a monarch returning to his throne, but a symbol of Norway's endurance and triumph. The scars of war were deep, yet my people were determined to rebuild, and I stood by their side as they forged a brighter future. The post-war years were challenging but hopeful. As king, I supported Norway's integration into the modern world, including its membership in the United Nations and NATO. I witnessed my nation's remarkable transformation, from a primarily agrarian society to a prosperous, industrialized country. In 1957, after 52 years as Norway's king, my journey came to an end. My reign had spanned eras of immense change, independence, war, and reconstruction. I was not perfect, but I had tried to be a steadfast and faithful servant to Norway. My legacy, I hope, is one of dedication, courage, and love for a nation that gave me the greatest honor of my life, to be its king. As I take my final bow, I leave behind a country united, free, and filled with promise. May my story remind future generations of the strength found in loyalty, the courage to resist tyranny, and the enduring spirit of the Norwegian people.